Cue the montage.
There's nothing to talk about.
Oh, we'll see about that. Can't do the honors, Cap. Avengers, assemble!
We did Disney. What a week it was, too. This video right here is just going to be, aside from the 10-minute montage that you may or may not have watched, is just going to be me giving my thoughts and maybe tips and tricks for somebody who is a first-time cruiser, like I just was, or somebody who's thinking about going on a Disney cruise. This is going to be a video about me saying what my thoughts were and maybe things to keep in mind, or just really anything, any info about the Disney cruise we just took. So first things first, travel. We flew out of Columbus, Ohio. I don't even know if I've ever told you guys before, but I live in West Virginia. But we drove to Columbus, Ohio. It was about a 2-hour drive. We flew in the day before. Everybody says that you should fly in the day before. So we scheduled a flight the day before the cruise. It was 8 o'clock in the morning. We drove 2 hours to Columbus Airport, had a 2-hour flight to Florida. We flew into Fort Lauderdale because it was cheaper than flying into Miami, which was the port that my cruise was sailing out of. So we 2-hour drive, 2-hour flight, and we was there and we spent the evening in Miami just checking out the beach and going to get something good to eat. But that was our first day, is just getting a hotel and just relaxing. Everybody says you want to take the day before. You don't ever want to show up if you have to fly in especially, you don't ever want to show up the day of, because the boat's not going to wait on you, or ship. I know people are weird about calling it a boat when it's a ship, but it's not going to wait on you is the point. It's going to take off when it's time to sail, so it's always better to leave the day after you get back and show up the day before you're supposed to embark. So 30 days prior to your sailing date, you do online check-in. And that's when you pick your port arrival time. You fill out like medical info and things like that, but that's when you pick your port arrival time. They do it in blocks so that everybody's not showing up to the port at the same exact time. And for me anyway, I know some people like to just leisurely, show up when they want to show up, but we wanted to spend as much time on the ship as possible. So at midnight, 30 days prior, you want to be on the Disney Cruise Line website and picking, the meet and greets you want and everything that you have to make reservations for. You want to be there at midnight on the dot, so you can get an early port arrival time. But we got ours at like noon. So that morning we, drove to the port and hung out for an hour or two until it was our time to get onto the ship. Now, I'm not going to cover everything because there's a ton of things that veteran cruisers know, and there's 1,000 videos out there if you want more information about meet and greets and ways to book things and stuff like that. But I'm just going to go over just my general thoughts on it. But first things first, the Disney Dream is what we went on, and it's absolutely gorgeous. It's a beautiful ship. Everything, nobody really does it like Disney. You pay a boatload of money, and there's a reason why. It's just everything is exceptional. We never went into a bathroom that was dirty. Everything was just super clean and pretty, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful ship. The service you get on there, the hospitality, again, you pay a lot of money, and part of the reason why is because everybody is just so friendly. Children cover your ears. I don't know if everybody in the real world is just an asshole or if this is the way people are supposed to be, but everybody was so friendly. Like, we live in a pretty southern hospitality type of place, and most people are pretty friendly, but just everybody is so nice, and they go above and beyond to say, hey, do you need anything? Can we make things better? Do you need a drink? Just anything you could possibly want. Like, these people, serve you hand over fist to make sure that you are having the best time. And everybody, I didn't meet one cast member or crew member that wasn't the nicest person, and they were great with the kids. It's just, everybody was so nice. Now, the stateroom that we got was a veranda stateroom, which for new people is basically just like a balcony hotel room. It was very nice. They're all very small. Like, I've looked at the inside staterooms and the ocean view and the verandas, and all of them are pretty small, but that makes sense because you're on a cruise ship. You're not going to have a ton of room. So one thing we learned is to pack much less than you think you're going to need, because, I probably took, for a 5-day cruise, I guess I should tell you that too, we did a 5-day Marvel Day at Sea themed cruise. The whole thing wasn't Marvel. They had one specific day at sea that was Marvel, but there was Marvel sprinklings everywhere throughout the ship. But for 5 days, I packed 10 shirts and several pairs of pants and shorts and stuff, and you just don't need all that. They have laundry there, so bring less and do laundry. Bring a couple of Tide Pods or something, because you're going to need a lot less than what you think you're going to need. But anyway, we got a veranda stateroom, and it was perfect, aside from it being a little small, which I get. It was very nice, and it was nice to have a balcony. Now, entertainment. As far as entertainment goes, you will never run out of things to do on a ship, or on the Disney ships anyway, from my experience. They had 3 different Broadway-style shows, and all 3 of them were awesome. They were amazing. We've never really been to any Broadway shows or anything like that, but one of them was Beauty and the Beast. One of them was Believe, which is kind of a mashup of all the Disney, or a lot of different Disney movies. And the Golden Mickeys, which is kind of like a staple in all of the Disney cruise ships. We thought all 3 of them were awesome. We loved them. They have a bunch of other things like bingo and trivias and things like that. There's a lot of stuff for adults and kids to do, and you'll never run out of things to do if you're always looking for something to do. But that's what's kind of good about Disney, or just cruising in general. I've never been on another cruise, but with this anyway, is you can kind of pick your vacation. You can be, me personally, I wake up as early as I can and I'm go, go, go all day long. But my wife is a little bit more relax, So I think on our next one, we're going to try to scale back, trying to do something 24/7. Because you're not going to be able to get to do it all. There's a Disney Navigator app which tells you all of the things going on every single day, and you can heart things, so it'll give you notifications when something's about to start. They also have Disney Ocean-eer Club for kids. My kids didn't really go to it, but they didn't really ask to go to it until later, and I think my daughter's 10, and the way little girls are is, I'm sure day 1 of the cruise, a lot of girls click up in the Ocean-eer Clubs. My kids were a little bashful to go to it, but by day 4, they were like, yeah, let's go check it out. And they loved it. But my daughter kind of had a hard time making friends in there. So, she didn't really have anybody to hang out with. So next time we cruise, I think we're going to try to bring like one of our cousins or one of her cousins or just a friend so that she can, because a lot of kids, from what I hear, go into those Ocean-eer clubs and they literally stay the whole time. Like, you don't even see your kids hardly, which I love being around my kids, but it would have been nice to have a little bit of a more adult time, with just me and my wife, or maybe me and my wife and a few friends to do some adult things while the kids hung out at the Ocean-eer clubs. But I think next time, I told her, is like, try to go in there early and make friends early, because by day 4 all the girls have clicked up, and you know how little girls are, they're, once they get into their little bubbles, they become exclusive, and I don't know. I felt bad. My daughter had a hard time making friends. My little 5-year-old boys, especially 5-year-olds, make friends very fast. But so he was cool with it, going to it, but my daughter was kind of like rather stay with us because she had a hard time making friends in there. But anyway, the Ocean-eer clubs are awesome. They have like a Star Wars themed area and a Toy Story themed area, and they were just great. I wish the adults had a area to hang out like that, because they were really cool, and I'm a big Star Wars geek, so I loved the little Star Wars area they had. But yeah, that's something for the future. Is I told my daughter, is like, go in there day 1 and make friends, and then you'll have somebody to hang out with at the Ocean-eer clubs the whole time. Adults, they have open houses for the adults to go in sometimes, but any other time, adults aren't even allowed to go in there. So you can drop your kids off, and they have like a gate that you have to scan wristbands to get into. And so if you want to drop your kid at the Ocean-eer Club and go have a drink, or go to one of the adult-only sections of the ship, you can do that and not have to worry about your kid. And if they want to leave, they can just tell one of the Ocean-eer Club crew members, and they'll send you a notification on the app, and you can go pick them up. So that's something that we kind of wish we would have utilized day 1 instead of going into a day 4, because my daughter really loved it. She just kind of had a rough time trying to make a friend, so she texted and asked us to pick her up pretty quick. Now, as far as characters and Marvel Day at Sea, there's characters everywhere. We got fish extenders, which I'll explain that in another clip, but we got a fish extender notepad, and my kids carried them around the whole entire time to get character signatures, and they had tons of characters for Marvel Day at Sea, and then even tons of characters for just like the princesses and Mickey and Minnie and Pluto and Donald. Like, there were so many characters, and on the app it tells you where these characters are going to be at any given moment. So as we didn't even get all the characters because there were just so many, but my kids got a ton of signatures and a ton of pictures, as I'm sure you saw. So that was really, really cool, and all of them are awesome. All of them are so friendly and did such a good job, and I can't praise Disney enough for the people they pick to do these characters, and their crew members. They must vet them very strictly, because they're all so friendly and did such a great job, and it was really cool. Now, fish extender there's a ton of videos that you can find, but I'll go over very quickly. It's basically like an onboard Secret Santa. So you have your stateroom numbers, you join like a Facebook group for your sailing, and somebody in the group will make a fish extender list, and it's basically just a Secret Santa. You put your stateroom number down on it, and you hang like a little organizer on your there's a little fish by all the staterooms, or like a little seahorse, and you hang like your little basically stocking, and people exchange gifts. That's pretty much all it is. But there's a ton of videos out there. I won't go into too much detail. You can go find more information on fish extenders out there, but that's basically what it is. Now I'm going to get into food. So they have a buffet, which you eat breakfast at every morning, which is called Cabanas, and we thought all the food was really, really good for a buffet. They have Flo's, which is right by the pools, which also it's not a buffet, but like you can just go up there and they just have continuous food coming out. So if you want chicken tenders, you can get them almost immediately. If you want, like soup or salad, or if the little wraps, like tuna wraps or whatever, or pizza, things like that, you can get it very quickly. But Disney does what's called rotational dining. So for dinner every night, you do one of 3 different restaurants they have. And the 3 on the Dream were the Royal Palace, Enchanted Garden, and Animator's Palette. Now, all 3 of these places are beautiful. They're very, very nice. You also get a server that follows you from restaurant to restaurant. So Ours was named Ajus. He was really, really awesome. He was a great guy. He was super good with the kids. We all loved him so much. But we weren't a big fan of the food outside of cabanas and flows. I've said this a couple of times to my wife, and she keeps making fun of me, but I can't tell if we are just southern food loving hillbillies who only eat potatoes and fried stuff. But these restaurants were kind of fancy, and just the things we got, we just weren't really blown away by. We kept saying that the best meals we had were at cabanas and flows because I don't know, I like seafood, and they had crab at cabanas and things like that, but we just really weren't blown away by the food this time. And maybe it was just our sailing, maybe the chef was just a little, I don't know, but we weren't really huge fans of the rotational dining restaurants. But I mean, nothing at all was bad by any stretch. Everything was good, but you hear so much about how good the food is on Disney, and I don't know, we just weren't super impressed. But everything was surely edible. It was very good, or it was good, but just nothing to really write home about. They do have 24/7 soft serve ice cream that's unlimited, and my kids love that, and we all love ice cream, so that was awesome. And you're not going to go hungry. I probably gained 10 pounds on this cruise because there's food everywhere. You can get room service for free. Make sure you tip though. But and all that food, the room service food was good. We did that one night, but yeah, I mean there was a lot of food and all the food was good, but just nothing was amazing like you hear it's supposed to be amazing. So I don't know, but maybe it's just us. Maybe it's just our palate, I guess. I don't know, but that's just my honest opinion. Is that we didn't really think the food was all that, but it was all edible and it was all good. It just wasn't amazing, but maybe we set our expectations too high. I don't know. Now, the two ports we went to were Castaway Cay and Cozumel, Mexico. Castaway Cay is a very pretty island, and it's Disney's private owned island. So Disney owns all of it. So it was all very pretty, and it was nice, and we really liked Castaway Cay. We didn't spend a whole lot of time on there because my daughter had, as you saw in the video, it's called Bibbidi Boppity Boutique, where they do her all up, and my daughter and my son had that. They do more for the girls, obviously, because you got to do their hair and makeup and stuff, but they still, my son really liked it as well. But yeah, we didn't spend too much time on Castaway Cay, but it was a very, very nice beach, very nice island. Yeah, I don't really have much on that. They serve you lunch there at, I think it's called Cookies, and that food was pretty good. It was kind of like a buffet style barbecue, and it was pretty good. But yeah, Castaway Cay was really nice. Then we went to Cozumel, Mexico, and I think I liked Cozumel better. We went to we got a excursion called Chocanab Park or something like that, and we did dolphin experience there, and while very expensive, Chocanab. I hope I'm saying that right. It was very nice. We liked that place a lot. There was a pool there that my kids spent most of the time in after the dolphin thing, and yeah, we loved Mexico, or at least what we experienced in Mexico. Now I'm gonna get into price. Disney, as everybody knows, is extremely expensive. If you're going to go on a 3, 5, 7 day cruise, you're going to pay out the ass for it. It's very, very expensive. They do have military deals, but the military deals, that's what I got for this one, but they only post them like 6 months out, so you can't really plan for them as well. So, but we got a really good deal on our veranda stateroom. We paid like $3,100 for it, which is very, very good. The stateroom we looked at, I think, was like $4,500 or $5,000 close to without my military, but it made it like $3,100. But that's all inclusive. That includes, except for excursions, it includes all your meals. It includes your stateroom. It includes room service. It doesn't include gratuities. There is an included gratuity that you have to pay that's extra, but it doesn't include alcohol. There's no drink packages on Disney, so you have to pay money for all your alcohol. But yeah, I mean, realistically speaking, you can pay that $3,100 that I spent or whatever your cruise is and not pay another dime aside from your gratuities that they force you to pay. But so I mean, if you're not a big drinker or you don't want to do excursions, you can pay just that base money and if you don't want to buy any things from the shops that they have on board, you can pay that and not pay another dime, if you want to. But we obviously didn't. We did a few excursions, and I'm not a big drinker, but I will indulge a little bit. But yeah, so you pay a lot of money, but in my opinion, it's kind of worth it. Like they go, like I said earlier, they go above and beyond to make sure that you're having the best time. And we did have the best time. I asked my kids at the end of it, I said, okay, rate it out of 10. Both my kids said 10 out of 10. They absolutely loved it, and we're already looking into doing another one. But, the downside is you're going to pay for it, But, I don't know. If you can budget throughout the year, like we're looking into one, we made this whole entire trip in like 3 months, So I had to come up with all this money in a 3 month span. But realistically speaking, if you have a year that you can put a little bit away here and a little bit away there, it becomes more affordable. It's still very expensive, but it would be easier if you can save for it rather than having to just come up with all this money all in one whack. So we're looking to book one the same time next year, and I'll have 12 months to plan for it. So it'll be a little bit easier on the pocketbook. But would I say it's worth the money? I kind of would, honestly. It's just such exceptional service, and we just thought it was great. Now this video is already 30 minutes long, and I could spend 2 hours talking about all the things, but I think I'll wrap it up there. I think I covered most of the big key issues I wanted to cover. I wanted to give a quick shout out to Leg Life, Adam and Sherry. I watched all their videos leading up to this because I like to do a lot of research to know what I'm getting myself into, and I love both of them. They're YouTubers. I'll link their channel down below. Check them out. They were awesome, and they've been on several cruises, and they just gave me so much information and things to look out for. So Adam, Sherry, if you see this, I love you guys. You're awesome. But yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up right there. Again, we loved it. We're already looking into doing another one. And yeah, we really had the best time. We really did. But that's all I have. I'm gonna jump back into Western Governors University videos here soon. I took a week off, so it's time to hit the ground running. So if you guys stayed until now, yeah, thanks for staying, and I'll see you on the next one.